97.3. More variety.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. The news is live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citynewsroom.com. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Coming up, President Akufo-Addo hints of Ghana's return to the international market soon to borrow to fund some important infrastructure projects.
To position us to be able to go back into the international capital market, which had been a source of funding for us for the first 3 or 4 years of our government.
Do you see that happening soon? Because I know your finance minister said there's no rush to get back.
There's no rush to get back, but nevertheless, obviously, why not?
Meanwhile, the government is set to begin massive expenditure cuts to meet some International Monetary Fund conditionalities. Also coming up, National Food Suppliers Association issues a 14-day ultimatum to government to settle outstanding debt or face series of picketing at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company.
Failure to pay us in 14 days from now, all the arrears owe our members, we will resort to picketing in the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company.
Still ahead, construction works resumed on Koforidua Township roads after some angry residents threatened to stage a massive protest next month.
I had an interview with Citi FM a week before these issues came up, and we had planned to get back to Koforidua about 2 weeks before that.
And later, pupils of Makayili Primary School in the Nanumba North municipality of the Northern Region forced to lie on their bellies to study due to the lack of educational infrastructure. All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. In the Western region, we are live on Ajinpa 100.7 in Takwa, Beach FM 105.5 in Takrade, Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti region, Ajinpa FM 99.9 in Nkawie, Volta region, we are live on Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi, Freedom FM 88.1 in Sogakope, Northern region, we are live on Radio Gaki 88.3 in Saboba, Upper East, Quality FM 88.7 in Garu, and Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigo.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. Now, President Akufo-Addo says government will begin a rigorous expenditure cut to meet the IMF conditionalities. The president says government is eager to turn the fortunes of the country around. Speaking at the Qatar Africa Economic Forum in Doha, Nana Akufo-Addo said the IMF bailout will help revive the Ghanaian economy.
The rationalization of our expenditures, the rationalization of government expenditures is something that we have given the assurance. The domestic revenue mobilization is absolutely critical for us. Already we're beginning to see signs of that. We are the fiscal deficit to come back within the thresholds that we have a law, a fiscal responsibility law in Ghana, which has pegged our fiscal deficits at 5%. At the moment is way above that, and the sooner we can bring that again to a more acceptable threshold, the better it is for our economy. So these are all several areas of activity that we see as being absolutely essential for the future of our country.
How concerned are you that, Ghana next year has an election, you'll be leaving office. Are you concerned, considering inflation right now is north of 40%? There's already a lot that Ghanaians are enduring, that this could potentially hurt your party going into the next election?
I think that the global situation has not been kind to incumbent governments all over the world, and our situation will be no different. But at the same time, I believe that we have enough time. We have 18 months. I leave office in January 25, which is literally 18 months, 19 months from now, to be able, with a very disciplined approach to the implementation of the IMF program, the repositioning of our economy, to be able to bring some growth back into the economy, some relief back to our population, to be able to convince them that, yes, it's worth them continuing the journey with my party and the new leader of our party, who we'll choose in November this year.
President Akufo-Addo further added that Ghana will soon return to the international market to borrow to fund important infrastructural projects.
To position us to be able to go back into the international capital market, which had been a source of funding for us for the first 3 or 4 years of our government.
Do you see that happening soon? Because I know your finance minister said there's no rush to get back.
There's no rush to get back, but nevertheless, obviously, why not? Can we not take advantage of global savings? It makes a lot of sense to be able to do that. And the sooner we can do it, better. I think that what the finance minister means is that we're going to try as much as possible to maintain the discipline which is required, which is the most important prerequisite of a successful program.
Right.
And that would mean ramping up our own domestic savings, being able to put systematic controls over public expenditure to make sure that we're always cutting our coat according to our cloth, and giving the impetus to private sector development, private sector investment. We're looking at that more than we're looking for assistance from the multilateral development banks, etc. But basically, these are the objectives that we are. At the end of it, of course, hopefully, position the economy of Ghana in such a way that we have a more diversified economy, we have a stronger economy that can withstand the exogenous shocks that we have witnessed in the last 2 or 3 years.
That was President Akufo-Addo.
Now, Ghanaian medical students in Cuba on government scholarships say they have received 8 out of 11 months stipend arrears owed to them. The medical students in the past have been lamenting over the non-payment of their stipends, a situation they say was making life difficult for them in Cuba and making them live on the generosity of colleagues and friends. But speaking to Citi News on condition of anonymity, one of the medical students says that the money was paid yesterday, May 23.
11 months without stipends in Cuba is a hell. This has been the challenge we've been facing. Over 100 Ghanaian medical students in Cuba on the scholarship of Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. We've been pleading with the authorities, we've been pleading with the officials, but we've not seen anything yet. It's been 11 months, May inclusive. But as at now, there has been an indication from several students that an amount for 8 months has been disbursed. Others are still in the process receiving theirs. That's currently the status of the 100 Ghanaian students, 100 Ghanaian medical students in Cuba on the scholarship, on the ticket of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. We want to take this medium to further say to our sponsors that we still hope the remaining 3 months come as early as possible, so that we can equally satisfy all our debts. We can pay off all our debts and begin serious academic studies.
So you heard there one of the Ghanaian medical students in Cuba speaking to Citi News on condition of anonymity on the payment of stipends owed to them.
The National Food Suppliers Association has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the National Food Buffer Stock Company demanding the payment of outstanding debts. The association expressed concern that the credibility of their members has been compromised, making it difficult for them to continue operating their businesses. Despite previous attempts to bring attention to their grievances, the suppliers claim government has not responded to their pleas. In response to the lack of action, the spokesperson of the association, Kweku Amedume, indicated that the group has planned to picket at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company once the ultimatum period elapses.
The National Food Buffer Stock Company has, for the past 1.5 years, failed to pay for the various foodstuffs supplied to the secondary schools by our members. Apart from the numerous letters addressed to the Office of the Chief of Staff, the Ministry of Education, and the National Food Buffer Stock Company, several attempts have been made by members of our association to have their monies paid to them, but all have proven to be unsuccessful. We are by this press conference serving notice to the National Food Buffer Stock Company that failure to pay us in 14 days from now, all the arrears owe our members, we will resort to picketing in the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. And we will sleep there, we will go there with our mattresses, we will go there with our coffees, we will go there with everything that we have in our houses. We are going to create another house in Buffer Stock. We will be there till our money is settled. We don't go sit down, make the cheaters every day.
That was a spokesperson of the National Food Suppliers Association, Kweku Amedume.
Let's take you to the courts now because a justice of the High Court, Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, has threatened sanctions against jurors who absent themselves from duty. This comes after several indictable cases to be heard earlier this week were adjourned following absenteeism on the part of empaneled jurors. On Tuesday, the jurors were absent from the hearing of a trial case of the late J.B. Dankwa. The absence is in protest of salary arrears owed to them. Unhappy with the recent happenings, Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo issued a stern warning to the jurors that from Wednesday, May 25, the court will apply the appropriate sanctions if they fail to appear.
The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasir Ahmed Iyati, has assured of maintenance works on inner roads in Teshi soon. The construction of the La Teshi-Nungwa Beach Road has compelled many motorists to use inner roads in the Teshi enclave. The residents have complained about the deteriorating effect of the development and have planned to demonstrate to attract the needed attention of authorities. But Nasir Ahmed Iyati assures the roads in the community will see some facelift soon.
You know, we are doing the main road, that is the La Beach Road, which is a massive project. Obviously, when we are done, the issue of the internal roads will come up and it will be tackled. It will be programmed for some facelift. That I can assure you, because Teshi is a very important community. So once we are done with the main road, we'll turn attention to the inner roads and see what can be done. Program it for some facelift or asphaltic overlay. I'm sure it may be, even as we speak, I'm sure our urban road maintenance officers have already taken the inventory.
Nasir Ahmed Iyati speaks for the Ministry of Roads and Highways.
Now, aggrieved customers of defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company have expressed their dissatisfaction with the stance by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, on the payment of their locked-up funds. SEC, in a response to a petition by the aggrieved customers demanding the payment of their funds, said it is awaiting the end of a court case to be able to disburse the outstanding funds of the investors. The group is, however, unhappy with the response and wants their monies paid immediately. The convener of the aggrieved customers of defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company, Charles Nyame, has been speaking to Citi News on the matter.
When the letter came and we opened the letter, Securities and Exchange Commission sought to respond to our petition that we submitted to them during the picketing. That's 3 weeks after we submitted the letter. And the content of the letter was just, Security and Exchange Commission was just trying to justify itself for what they have done so far for us not getting our money. So that was the response that they gave to us. The petitions that we raised in the letter as to when they are going to pay us and for them we send it on the condition of getting liquidation order before they disburse our money, they didn't say anything on that. They tried to tell us that without the liquidation order in the court, they cannot pay us our money. But government has made available an amount of 8.6 billion for our payment. According to them, they submitted an amount of 8 billion to the government. That is the total payment for customers under Security and Exchange Commission. So government give us the money. But the government went ahead giving you 8.6 billion, exceeding the amount that you requested for. But what they are trying to say is that without the liquidation order, they cannot be disbursed. But come to think of it, you have disbursed part of this money for people to get their full investment. So why didn't you wait till you get the liquidation order for those people to get their full investment?
Meanwhile, the aggrieved customers of defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company have welcomed former President John Dramani Mahama's assurance to restore the licenses of financial institutions that were unjustly collapsed a few years ago. This assurance, the group believes, will translate into the unlocking of the investment funds.
Now, former President Mahama, the founder of the NDC, comes out to say that if I am voted into power in 2024, I will pay all your money that are locked up in the first year. Someone will say, so can you wait till 2025 for him to come and pay you? The answer is no. But as it stands now, we have no hope of light. And he has given us a hope of light. We are going to press the government in the interim for him to pay us. If the government refuses to pay us, when we get to that point, we will throw all our support behind President Mahama to come to power to pay us. Because it has already been 5 years. And the government has no goodwill to pay us. And if an opposition party has taken this matter as a matter of seriousness, then we have to support the opposition to pay us.
Charles Nyame is the convener of the aggrieved customers of the defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company.
The Member of Parliament-elect for Kumewu in the Ashanti region, Ernest Yao Enim, says uncompleted projects would continue in the constituency. The government was accused of constructing the roads in the area in order to be able to win the by-election. Numerous untarred roads in the area have been paved and construction of new ones underway. Assuring residents of government's commitment to develop Kumewu, the MP-elect said the project would not be abandoned.
This project was already in the pipeline. The late Member of Parliament for Kumewu, Honorable Philip Baswa, had met the Council of Local Churches back in January 22nd, and he had promised that the roads were going to start by the end of April. Fortunately for us, the contractor came on site on the 15th of April, and construction started. I have promised the people of Kumewu that the contractor is going to be with us for the next 14 months. He is going to make sure that every road that is in the pipeline from Efijase all the way to Raso is constructed. He's going to work on the Kumewu town roads, which includes Abotanso, Pepiase, and all the surrounding towns within Kumewu. So for us, we know we have said and we are going to deliver. This is not a lie. This is not to win the seat. This is something that the party was committed to doing and the government was committed to doing. We have told you, MPP, when we say we do. So for me, it is not a lie. We are here to stay, and the machines are going to be on our roads for the next 14 months, and the people of Ghana will see the good things we deliver. Aside the roads, we have promised a number of things. Just last week, the Education Minister was here. He promised the construction of a 6-unit classroom block at Oyoko. We have already started another 6-unit class block at Setre. We have constructed 10 boreholes within the last 3 weeks, and we are going to continue to do more in the education sector. We are going to do more in agriculture. We are going to help with the unemployment situation we have in the constituency. There are several other things that we intend doing for our people, and I believe that the people of Kumewu are going to see progress forward.
Ernest Yao Enim is Member of Parliament-elect for Kumewu in the Ashanti region.
Now, government is optimistic work on major road projects that stalled will commence soon. The La Beach Road construction and the Obichibi-Lamte interchange project are some of the major works that stalled due to financial difficulties. A section of the public raised concerns over the potential increase in cost due to the deterioration of the projects that had reached advanced stages. The situation has also caused inconveniences to residents who have to deal with the dust generated by the usage of the stalled road projects. But the public relations officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasser Ahmed Yate, assures that the projects will soon commence following the successful IMF negotiations.
There are a few projects that are slowed down, progress has slowed down because of our financial difficulty as a nation, and we having to renegotiate our debt with some of our development partners and our credit, those who we are working with. And so once we've gotten the IMSD through, I'm sure that most of these projects, once we get our way clear, most of these projects will come back. These are projects that are at advanced stage of completion, and government is committed to make sure that we complete this project. The Obichibi-Lamte, the La Beach Road, the interchange in Takrady. These are all projects that we are looking forward to complete pretty soon.
Will this include the Flower Pot Road? Because that seems to be progressing steadily. Or is that a different funding arrangement? Because that one, they keep working.
That's a different funding arrangement, and so that is progressing. In fact, they should be constructing the bridge over the motorway. The minister visited that place, I think 2-3 weeks ago, to see the traffic control measures that have been put in place. So that project is ongoing. But those that have slowed down, these are massive projects that we will not leave. They are priority projects. And so very soon you'll see actions on those projects.
So you heard there the Public Relations Officer for the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasser Ahmed Yate.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa here with Kweku Idriama Ansa. Stories we've been bringing you this hour. President Akufo-Addo hints of Ghana's return to the international market soon to borrow to fund some important infrastructural projects. You also had a story where the National Food Supplies Association has issued a 14-day ultimatum to government to settle outstanding debt or face series of picketing at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. Still to come, construction has resumed on Koforidua Township Road after some angry residents threatened to stage a massive protest. We have details of that and others coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? Eh? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
The international football season has just reached fever pitch, and GoTV will be right there for it all. So get settled into your living room stadium because you are coming with us to the epic finales of the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa League, FA Cup, and more. All you have to do is get and stay connected to GoTV, where all the big games keep coming.
Points of world-class difference.
GoTV, love it.
No one stops that.
Listen up, people. There's good news for Airtel Tigo customers who haven't started and those who are yet to complete their SIM re-registration. Yes, good news. Complete your SIM re-registration and get free 5GB data falla to browse, chat, Zoom, TikTok, Snap, and do more on Airtel Tigo to change your world. If your SIM has been blocked, don't worry. You can have your number back and also get a whopping 5GB data as soon as you register with your Ghana card. Simply visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop or agent today. Complete your SIM registration now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. The management of the Pantan Hospital has raised concerns over squatters who have erected wooden structures around the hospital premises and its environs. The health facility, which accommodates nursing and midwifery training institutions, basic schools and other state facilities, has now become a haven for criminals and social misfits such as thieves, weed smokers and squatters. Hospital management said they are working closely with the La Nkwantanan Madina Municipal Assembly to clear all illegal structures and criminals from the premises of the facility to bring sanity and order within the hospital community. Deputy Director in charge of administration at the Pantan Hospital, Collins Kessie, has been speaking to Citi News.
We have been collaborating with the La Nkwantanan Municipal Assembly about this insecurity situation as to the illegal structures in the hospital premises, which they are working to remove them. But as of now, they will not be removed and is concerned to the hospital. During the weekend, we parked a tricycle somewhere and somebody even came to take it away, which we are reported to the police for investigation. And know that we share the place with training institutions. We also learned that some people went to remove battery on their power generator. And these things keep on recurring, and it's a concern, and it doesn't make our staff feel at ease when they are working. Happy also to stress that the assembly is very concerned about it, and they are doing every bit to support us to eject them.
Mr. Kessie says they are also collaborating with the police to increase police patrols on the compound to serve as a hindrance to these people who seek to foment trouble.
We have had stakeholders engagement on that, but we have to get some documents for them. So when that process is done, we learned that the assembly will eject these people together with the Adenta Police Command. So as it was carried out, it's a concern. But we are also monitoring the situation to ensure that if we see any sign of illegality to the hospital with regards to unauthorized persons moving around, alert the police about it. Except that we need to see more police patrol around on the hospital premises and its environment, so that at least when we see the creation of this patrol and they also see them, it will tear them from coming there in the first place, and it also assure the safety of our staff and our patients who access healthcare at the facility.
Deputy Director in charge of administration at the Pantan Hospital, Collins Kessie.
Now, Parliament is expected to resume from recess on June 6, 2023 for the commencement of the second meeting of the third session of the 8th Parliament. The House went on recess on March 31 after approving the 3 financial bills by the government and 2 additional Supreme Court justices who had been vetted by the Appointments Committee earlier in the year. The Speaker, Alban Bagbin, however, recalled the lawmakers on May 2, 2023 to approve some loan agreements. In a statement issued by the Speaker, the MPs are expected to resume on Tuesday, June 6, 2023 at 10 a.m. Some key expectations of the House upon resumption would be the vetting of the newly nominated Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, by the Appointments Committee, and the consideration bills such as the promotion of proper human sexual rights and the Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, also known as the Anti-LGBT Bill.
Now, the main opposition, National Democratic Congress, NDC, in the Upper West region has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the government to ensure that all senior high schools in the region are supplied with adequate food items. The party is alleging that almost all senior high schools in the region are operating without adequate food supplies, compelling students to go without food for some days now. The NDC is threatening a series of actions if the situation is not immediately addressed. Citi News' Latif Mahama has more.
Addressing the media, the Upper West Regional Communications Officer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress opined that nearly 6 years after the implementation of the free senior high school program, most senior high schools in the Upper West region are on the verge of collapse due to the government's inability to honor its financial obligations to them. The communications officer explained that the situation compelled his outfit to conduct a research on the welfare of the students in the various senior high schools in the region, and it came out that not even a single senior high school is providing the required quantity and quality of food, with majority of them currently running without providing food to the students.
Schools are currently starved of the needed funds and resources to keep the schools running, especially for feeding of students in the boarding houses, while school administrators are also not spared of the starvation of resources and funds to run smoothly. This has resulted in a pathetic situation of feeding students with very unreasonable quantities of equally poor and continuously depreciating quality of food served our children in all senior high schools, where we carried out investigation prior to the release of this conference. For over a month today, our investigations have revealed that some senior high schools in the region have not been feeding their students even a single meal. The reason for this happenstance was that government has either not provided them with food staff or is owing the caterers who cook for these students a lot of money, and caterers simply do not have money to continue to cook for these innocent students, and hence these students are sleeping on empty stomach. Yet President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia have money to buy brand new pickups at a cost of about 500,000 Ghana cedis each for campaigns. The current situation observed in the senior high schools is that all sections of school management have been rocked by acute shortage of food, non-availability of funds for schools to purchase perishables, inadequate and delayed release of funds, while institution managers and their directors have all been cowed into submission and muted from uttering a word to the media.
He called on the Nanado-led government to take immediate steps to address the food shortage situation in the various schools. He says failure to heed to their call will see the party mobilize parents to embark on a series of actions that will compel the Education Ministry to act to alleviate the sufferings of the students at the various senior high schools in the region.
Headmasters have now turned into professional beggars, begging left, right, center, just to feed our senior high school students. We are giving the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government a 2-week ultimatum from today to, as a matter of agency, make available to the senior high schools in the Upper West region enough food and other ingredients, as well as money, to enable headmasters purchase the necessary perishables that are needed to feed our brothers and sisters in our senior high schools. Anything short of that will warrant series of actions from us until the government succumbs and sees the need to do the needful.
The Upper West region has a total of 42 boarding day public senior high schools with close to 50,000 enrollments. The Upper West Regional Director of Education declined to comment on the shortage of food at the schools. However, the regional coordinator of the Free Senior High School program agreed that some schools currently have challenges with their feeding, but that his outfit had taken the necessary steps to address the situation.
I will say it is actually not the case, in the sense that, to the best of my knowledge, all the 41 senior high schools in the Upper West region are still in place. They are running. We have some challenges with regards to some food items, such as maize, beans, gari, and others. But I can confidently tell you that we have rice in stock, we have oil, we have sugar, we have margarine, we have other items too as well. Even though the other items that are not there, we have made arrangement, and those items are also on their way, even coming to the region. I had a call over the weekend that about 1,500 cartons of tin tomato is also on the way. Tomorrow, I'm expecting to get the car this evening, said that by tomorrow we'll start offloading them at the various zonal centers. Then the rice, we still have some stock of rice at the various 3 zonal centers that in the region, because we have some at Wasek as one of the zonal centers. We have one at Canton Senior High School. We have Nandom Senior High School as one of the centers as well. If you go there, you still see some bags of rice also still in place. And what happens is that schools that have challenges, they inform you that on this particular day, if nothing is done, they won't be able to feed their students. So you always make available whatever food items that you have. You also issue it to them so that they will be able to support. With respect to that of the maize, beans, and gari, that one, it was locally arranged with a supplier. That these are the issues that we are having. So let's see how best then he can just supply them, and then they will pay him his monies. And then the arrangement was done between him and then the Ministry of Education, said that he could supply those schools.
City News visited some of the senior high schools in the region, but was denied interview. That notwithstanding, some students who spoke on condition of anonymity complained about the quality and quantity of their meals.
The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has criticized the government's free senior high school program with the claim that senior high schools in the Upper West region are not having enough food to feed their students. They are thus appealing to the government to take immediate steps to address the situation to save the students from hunger. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama. Wa.
In more stories, the University of Mines and Technology and Mewatex Ghana, a mining waste water treatment engineering company, has signed a memorandum of understanding to research into treating mining polluted water, wastewater, to make it drinkable. The Vice Chancellor of UMAT, Professor Richard Kwesi Amankwa, speaking to City News at the signing ceremony, said although the collaboration comes with learning opportunities and internship for students of UMAT, the biggest benefit is how the institutions can work to clear both small and large-scale mining polluted wastewater. City News' Kwesi Ejeanim has more.
The University of Mines and Technology, UMAT, being Ghana's foremost mining engineering training institution at Takwa, is not only interested in training personnel for the industry, but feel responsible to research into solving the peculiar problems associated with the mining industry. After being granted a concession by the Minerals Commission to run a model small-scale mining, UMAT signed an MOU with Miwate Ghana Limited, an international company that treats mine wastewater. Speaking to City News at the signing ceremony, the Vice Chancellor of UMAT said the move is a positive one aimed at building capacity to clean mining polluted water bodies.
I'm looking at what we can achieve together. As we are, where Mewatech is into mine wastewaters in terms of the treatment. And UMAT is also involved, or we have been doing some research as far as mine wastewaters are concerned. So the idea is that if we can team up and synergize, then together we should be able to influence our space very positively. We are hoping that our students will get a chance to learn about the technologies that are deployed by Miwatech, and in addition to that, they will create spaces for attachment. Miwatech is more into large-scale operations, but we believe that by teaming up, we can also explore some of the things we can do in the small-scale mining arena, so that we can try and clear some of the waters that have been made muddy and polluted by the small-scale mining operations. So I'm looking at something great, working in the large-scale mining area, working in the small-scale mining area to impact the system positively.
Managing Director of Miwatech Ghana Limited, Herman Grubler, who signed on behalf of the company, said, "It is a privilege to give back to society."
We employ some of the world's premier chemical engineers working in the field of mine water treatment. We have a lot of knowledge and experience, methods that we want to share with the students. We are also going to give them opportunities to work with us. We will give bursaries for bright students, all of those kinds of things. Education is extremely important for us as a company and for me personally. So this is one way of giving back a little of what Ghana has given to us. I hope that this collaboration with the school will result in better engineers coming out and closer collaboration between industry and the business and the university.
So you heard their report filed by Citi News' Akwesi Ejay Anim.
You are still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, pupils of Makayili Primary School in the Nanumba North Municipality of the Northern Region forced to lie on their bellies to study due to the lack of educational infrastructure. We have details coming up shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The news cycle can sometimes be rather daunting. With an abundance of media houses publishing daily, where does one even begin? What the papers are saying is a one-stop shopping experience to knowing and understanding the most important news items that made the headlines. Catch the next episode of What the Papers Are Saying at 9 p.m. each Thursday, only on Citi TV.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, due to the lack of adequate furniture, pupils of Makayili Primary School in the Nanumba North Municipality of the Northern Region are forced to lie on their bellies for studies. Their situation is further compounded by some unscrupulous community members who have been defecating in some of the classrooms, making it uninhabitable. Our Northern Regional correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira, visited the school and has come through with this report.
The lack of furniture in schools continues to be a major hindrance to quality education. At Makayili Primary School in the Nanumba North Municipality, some school children are seen lying on their bellies for lessons. According to teachers of the school, several complaints made to the Education Directorate and the Nanumba North Municipal Assembly to have the situation remedied has not received the needed attention. Mr. Dasana Salifu is the head teacher of the school, and he describes the situation as worrying, citing its effects on delivering of quality education.
With regards to our terms situation, is very terrible, and we have made passionate appeal to the district education office, and unfortunately they haven't got stock to supply us. We even made an appeal to the assemblyman through our MP, but to no avail.
So how is it affecting teaching and learning?
It is seriously affecting teaching and learning. Because time to come, their posture of writing will be in difficulty. Simply because they used to lie down. Even when we are doing furniture, we have to retrain them as to how to sit on the dual decks and write. So actually, it is hampering our teaching and not enough teachers. It's only because of the furniture. We are forced to combine some of the children.
Okay.
That's why we are doing it. We are appealing to benevolence organizations, civil society, and who matters in education should come to our aid. We are actually suffering. The children are suffering, with the teachers are suffering because it is affecting teaching and learning.
He bemoaned the unspeakable attitude of some community members who have been defecating in some of the classrooms. According to him, this has forced management to combine classes since the others become uninhabitable.
Some of them, due to the nature of the habit of the community, they always defecate in our classrooms, toilets, and urinal pits.
You mean to say the community turned the classroom into toilets?
Toilets.
Wow.
We made efforts and even invited a PTA meeting, and it was promised that it will not happen. So the PTA chairman assured us of looking for a traditional elder to come and make some sacrifices. Towards that, through our own efforts, we were just 600 Ghana cedis which we paid. Unfortunately, having done all these efforts, it continues on and on.
Some of the teachers Citi News interacted with described as worrying the situation the pupils find themselves, especially during classes.
I see, the class is very large. We even use 3 registers. So actually management is very tough. As of now, we're even doing reading aloud, but you can see how they are making noise. Because it's not easy to handle a large class like that.
A large class like this, and they are all on the ground.
Yeah.
So how do they write exercises and copy notes? What do they do?
But I think you can even attest to as they are sitting on the ground. That's what they do. But we did appeal for furniture. They've not given us anything. We've not heard anything from anybody yet. So that is how. But without the furnitures, at least teaching must still go on. So that's why they are just on the floor.
Okay.
We are managing to.
So the children here, they are all congested and there's no single furniture. So they check on floor and they should look at the problem and help the Makaili premise to have some chew. At least even if you can't have enough, but we should get some to support the children to help teaching and learning goes on well.
The children in the class are too many. Why is it a combined class?
Yeah, we have two classes combined. That is basic 1 and basic 2. Okay. For the fact that we have adequate classrooms, but basic 1 class has been defecated there, and it is the community because they defecated there and their own children, so we can't send them where the physics occupy the classroom. Okay. So that made us, as a classroom teacher, we manage them 2 classes combined in 1 class.
The community is a bit far from Bimbilla, and most of the teachers stay in Bimbilla and commute to school every day. This, the head teacher says, is because there is no accommodation at the community for teachers. The only teachers' accommodation, which was built some years back, is now dilapidated and has been converted into a place of convenience by some community members. Mr. Salfo, the head teacher, speaks to Citi News about the situation.
We face a lot of my teachers are committing and they are complaining because our head teachers' quarters and teachers' quarters need renovation. I even made the assemblyman, I wrote an application for fund from the member of parliament. They assured us and still up to now. So maybe if the quarters is maybe put in place, a lot of teachers who are committing will stay and it will enhance effective teaching and learning.
The head teacher and staff are therefore calling on benevolent organizations and individuals to assist the school with furniture and also renovate the teachers' accommodation. In the midst of all these challenges, some unscrupulous community members have been defecating in 2 classroom blocks in the school, a situation both staff and pupils have condemned.
What are some places They would have wished they have this thing, but here in Makani, they have it, but they can't use it simply because the community members are defecating in the classroom. They turn the classroom to the toilet. So because of this, masters here have to combine classes at the other side of the school. From Makani, Muhammad Aminu M.
Meanwhile, the municipal chief executive for Nanumba North in the Northern Region, Abdullah Yakub, says about 600 decks are expected to be presented to the Makayili Primary School by the end of next week.
We have taken steps to remedy the situation. As I speak to you now, the Municipal Assembly have constructed about 300 dual decks, and we are also receiving 300 from the Ministry of Education later in the week. And we will use it to solve some of the issues. Not some of the classes have furniture, but some don't have. We have Bataba, we have Makayili, and in Bimbila Township and Chamba. So we are taking steps to get the problem fixed. The 200 that they have done, we have taken delivery of it. It's currently in the assembly. We want to officially hand over to the ES for distribution to the schools. So hopefully by the end of this week or early next week, the students will have the next.
So you heard there the municipal chief executive for Nanumba North in the Northern Region, Abdullah Yakub.
Now, construction works have resumed following Citi News report on the deplorable state of Koforidua Township Road. The report highlighted the plight of drivers, traders and residents in the Eastern Regional Capital. Days after the report, contractors who abandoned site last year December have resumed work. According to the Department of Urban Roads, the contractors who are back to undertake periodic maintenance, asphalt overlay, routine maintenance, and pothole patching will concentrate on fixing the Eastern Regional Hospital Road, the B. Foster stretch to Agatha Market, which has been identified as a priority. The Eastern Regional Urban Road Director, Engineer Samuel Mensah, who has been speaking to Citi News about the scope of work of the contractor, says the Galloway High Court stretch has not been abandoned.
Yes, the long, it's basically, as I said, there's works within the region. We have works in Asamankese. We have works in Suhun. Yes, and they had financial challenges, materials and all that. Yes, so they've organized and they are back. It happens in contracts. Sometimes you have financial challenges and then you have to, regroup and then come back. So they are back. But I realized that the road to the hospital, you agree, it was very, very bad. And the road to the hospital, in terms of emergency situation and all that, is problematic. So the Galloway Road, we've done almost 30% of the road. We'll continue. But for now, the road to the hospital is an emergency. So we need to work on that road. So that's why they are there now.
That was the Eastern Regional Urban Road Director, Engineer Samuel Mensah. Let's go live to the Eastern Regional Capital, Koforidua, and speak to my colleague, Neoni Amate Kanako. Good afternoon to you, Ni. Many thanks for your time. Now, paint a picture of these roads that you highlighted in your report a couple of days ago for our listeners on radio.
Bigotry in all aspects and very disrespectful to...
Hello, Kanako.
Yeah, hello.
Very well. Thank you for joining us. Now, paint a picture of this deplorable roads you highlighted in your report a couple of days ago for our listeners on radio.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, the Eastern Regional Capital, as according to some people are saying, has been neglected with regards to the year of roads agenda by government. Now, when you look at the capital proper, that is the Central Business District, prior to the 2016 elections, the previous government started some asphalting from the Yaya Construction Junction to Efijase. Now, as we speak now, these roads are a deplorable state, bedeviled with a lot of potholes. Now, when you look at the stretch connecting the Yilo Krobo enclave, that is from Nkrakan to the Central Business District, from Nkrakan to Adam Magazine to Kantudu, you would realize that all these places have potholes which are gradually emanating into manholes as people are indicating. Now, when you take a drive on this particular stretch, a journey which was supposed to be 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, now you can even take close to 45 minutes. That is from Akan to Koforidua, and this traders who ply these routes on a daily basis are complaining. Now, when you look at the main hospital stretch, that is from the B Foster traffic light to the ECG office, then to the hospital, you would notice that the whole place has potholes on that particular stretch. When you look at the Efficacy area, when you look at Agata Market area, and even when you go to the inner roads, that is other places around Koforidua, that is the Zongo area, the Ajuso, Abugi, Bunya, all these areas have bad roads. Even the Senate flat, which used to be an estate, which is an estate, they all have bad roads. Now, after the report just yesterday, some contractors moved to site. Now, in the report, the Eastern Regional Minister and Director of the Urban Roads indicated that plans were far advanced for contractors to return to site. Now, yesterday, these contractors were on site, and as we speak now, they are doing an asphalting on the main hospital road where I did the report. So as we speak now, the hospital road, that is from the B Foster traffic light to the Eastern Regional Hospital, which happens to be the referral center for all health facilities in the region. That particular road is being asphalted as we speak. Now, people were even surprised that as the contractors return to site, they would continue the work they left 6 months ago before the Farmers' Day celebration, where we had the Galloway Park, the road linking the Galloway to the Jubilee Park was fixed. Now, it was fixed halfway, so residents in the region were thinking that as the contractors are returning to site, they'll continue that particular project. Now, unfortunately, they moved all the machines to begin the new work on the B Foster traffic lights to the hospital stretch. Now, I just spoke to the director of urban roads a couple of minutes ago, who indicated that that particular road, as we speak, has become a priority. Hence, the need for the contractors to begin work on that particular stretch immediately. Now, the pressure group, that is Koforidua Development Advocates, are also indicating that despite work which is resumed, they are still going to continue to push forward with the demonstration agenda, indicating that they want concrete evidence, that is, they want some commitment from government and then managers of the region with regards to the inner roads and then other roads in the town, because they do believe that. All right.
Many thanks for your time. That was our Eastern Regional correspondent, Neil Niamate-Kanako, bringing us up to speed on Koforidua, where we understand construction works have resumed following City News report on some deplorable roads in that township. Kweku.
In more stories, the Supreme Court has upheld its decision to strike out provisions in the Narcotic Control Commission Act that allowed for the cultivation of certain kinds of cannabis for medicinal and industrial purposes. This follows a 5-4 decision dismissing a review application filed by the Office of the Attorney General. The Supreme Court had earlier ruled in favor of an applicant who invoked the original jurisdiction of the Apex Court to strike the provision which was legislated in violation of Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution. According to the applicant, the said provision was introduced without any explanatory memorandum as mandated by law. The Apex Court, after considering the review application, dismissed it for not meeting the threshold.
Now, certain news sources indicate that the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG, is likely to declare a strike today over government's attitude towards their demands for improved salaries. According to leadership of JUSAG, government has failed to convene a meeting to resolve issues as ordered by the National Labour Commission 2 weeks ago. We'll bring you that inset in a subsequent bulletin. Well, that'll be all for today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. The news was also live on all affiliates across the country. Western Region, Ajunpa FM 100.7 in Takwa, Beach FM 105.5 in Takrade, Bono Region, Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti Region in Kawi, Ajunpa FM 99.9 in Nkawie, Volta Region Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi, Freedom FM 88.1 in Sogakope, Northern Region we were live on Radio Gaki 88.3 in Saboba, Upper East Quality FM 88.7 in Garu, and Northeast Region we were live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigo. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and I was here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Many thanks for doing the listening, and do have a great afternoon.
City 97.3. More variety.